Kaugnay ng mga basurang nakapasok sa bansa, mga kapanayam natin si Bureau of Customs Acting Deputy Collector for Assessment, Mel Pascual. Magandang umaga po, sir.
Magandang umaga po, sir.
Sir, itong huling na-discover ng inyong Bureau of Customs, Enero pa pumasok sa ating bansa. Gaano po pa katagal bago nai-inspect ang mga pumapasok na shipment sa bansa? Parang huli na po pag nalalaman natin na basura pala ang mga ito.
Actually merong prosesong nangyayari. Doon sa batas under the CMTA law, we have 15 days within which to file an import entry. And if within 15 days they don't file an entry, ang goods declaration, then another 15 days will be given an extension for the lodgement of import entry, after which it will be declared abandoned. Sa pag-inspeksyon po naman nun, once the entry is filed, it will be subjected for physical examination, especially if the selectivity screen is on red. So it has to be physically examined in the location area of the pier. Otherwise, it will be declared abandoned.
Okay, and then may determination na kayo na basura pala ito. Ano ba yung nandoon sa mga dun sa container na to? Ano po yung nandoon mismo?
Yung sa mga container pong nandoon, meron pong mga scrap materials, plastic waste, may mga papel na basura. Talaga para lumalabas, basurahan ng tapunan dito sa Pilipinas na hindi naman dapat.
Kasi may mga iba-ibang classification. Ito nga galing Australia ay may nagsasabi na processed engineered fuel pa ito at ginagawa raw alternative fuel sa paggawa ng semento. So, basura lang ba yun or is this also some kind of useful material sa ating bansa?
Actually, when it was examined, it was with the presence na po ng mga taga-DNR. So these are the very people who can determine technically whether these are waste materials or even processed fuel materials. So in this case, it was determined by the DNR na waste materials po ito, hindi siya municipal waste.
Okay. So, ngayon na may ganong conclusion na yung ang ating gobyerno, ano yung next step dito? Because familiar na tayo doon sa kaso ng Canada sa atin, ano? Pinipilit natin yung Canadian government to take responsibility and pay for the shipment back to Canada. Ganito rin yung posibleng mangyayari dito sa basura galing Hong Kong. Will we impose on Hong Kong or the Chinese government to pay for the shipment and take it back to Hong Kong, China?
Well, definitely there will be a process. You know, it requires our big brothers like the DOJ, the DFA. So it requires diplomatic arrangement for us to send them back to its origin. So we are working on it.
Well, may mga, I think yung, ito, galing sa Customs Intelligence Service, no, sinasabi nila na itong unang container is just kind of a test container. Kung makalusot daw, may susunod pa na mga 69 more containers as part of this shipment from Hong Kong. No? Was there, can you confirm whether there was really that kind of plan? Na ito pa lang ang una. Isang container nga lang naman ito, no? But it's supposedly it's a part of a total shipment of 70 containers of similar material na ang sinasabi natin na ngayon ay basura pala.
Well, actually, they were testing the water, no? But our intelligence people are very vigilant to this kind of materials. That will form part of their anti-smuggling action. So, hindi po nakalusot, magbabantay pa rin po kami sa ganitong pagkakataon.
Sir, ano yung responsibility at accountability ng mga gobyerno doon sa origins, no? Kasi well, una, alala natin na sinasabi ng Canadian government na they had no responsibility over this private shipment trash na galing sa Canada na mga mga waste, mga used diapers na pala, no? But of course, we're saying na accountable yung Canadian government sa kahit anong manggaling sa kanilang bansa. So, I know that there are international laws regarding this, no? So, our governments, for example, our government, is it responsible for everything that is exported or shipped out of the Philippines to another country? Should we be accountable for everything that comes from the Philippines?
Of course, whenever there are violations committed in our Philippine laws, definitely we have, in particular case with these wastages, we have to inform the sender. Like, for instance, in this case, it is the Canadian government. So our interagency committee has to decide on this, and that's why we have the DFA. The DFA will have to inform diplomatically their ambassadors stationed in the Philippines about these violations committed by their country. And at the same time, we have to work on it that it has to be sent back to the origin because there is no choice in this particular case. Malacanang says it has to be returned back to its origin. So that's what we are doing right now.
Okay, so na-notify na po ang representatives ng Hong Kong or ng Chinese government dito sa Pilipinas na kailangan ibalik na tong shipment ng basura pabalik ng Hong Kong. Na-notify na sila at meron na bang response kung na-notify na nga sila?
I believe so, but we're still waiting for the reply regarding this.
Oh, iisa lang pala ang broker ng itong mga shipment ng basura mula sa Australia, and of course there's also a recent shipment coming from South Korea na basura pala, no? Natunto na ba at kinasuhan na ba itong broker na to, itong customs broker na to? And can you name the customs broker?
Actually, there is an ongoing investigation right now. If proven guilty, he will be charged administratively because under the law, he is an ex officio member of the Bureau of Customs, he being a licensed customs broker. Other individuals, the DOJ might charge either criminal case. That should be a liability on this particular individual person involved in bringing in of these wastages.
Okay, sir, nabanggit po ni Port Collector John Simon sa isang panayam kahapon na may kapangyarihan yung Bureau of Customs na yung Bureau yung mismo may pwede magbalik ng itong mga shipment na basura sa kanyang sa pinanggalingan nito. Kung ganun po ba, kung ganun po, ay bakit hindi agad na ibalik ang mga basurang galing ng South Korea, Australia at Canada at even in this shipment from Hong Kong? Kaya ba ng Bureau of Customs na siya mismo ang magbabalik? And who will end up paying for that? I guess our government, no? Kung Bureau of Customs ang magbabalik, gobyerno natin ang magbabayad nun.
Well, anyway, in regarding the Japanese waste, sometime in the last quarter of 1990s, it was returned back to Japan. And then we have this Canadian waste, which took place in 2014. Definitely, there is a process in this particular regard that the return of these wastages that were brought in here in the Philippines requires processes. We have the DOH, the DNR, the DOJ, DFA. Of course, from the Bureau of Customs, we are under DOF. So what we can do is sit down and then discuss these matters, things out, and report to the President. And if possible, this requires diplomatic processes. That's why we have the DFA with us.
So itong previous instances na binanggit nyo, no? Itong 1990s a shipment of, I guess, waste, also waste products, was returned to Japan, and meron pang previous case ng Canada na ibalik din sa Canada. Are you saying, sir, yung Philippine government ang nagpa-ship pabalik? In other words, we didn't have to wait for another government to act before the Philippine government acted to ship this waste or this garbage back to its point of origin. Yun ba yung sinasabi niyo, sir?
Now, of course, it requires diplomatic action, so we have to coordinate with our DFA that we have to return this back to its origin. Like, for instance, in the case of Korean waste, in Cebu, sometime 2 years back, we were able to send them back to Korea.
Okay.
So it requires diplomatic processes.
But we did not compel the Korean government to take responsibility for it and find a way to pay for it. Kasi yun yata yung bone of contention dito sa Canada eh. Nung una, yung sinasabi ng Canadian government, we're not responsible for that. We will not pay for that. Pero parang may lumalabas na kaya pala ng Philippine government na ibalik yung basura. No? Send the garbage out of our country, pabalik ng pinanggalingan niya. So, if that's the case, why is the Canadian garbage still in the Philippines? Kung kaya pala natin i-ship back sa kanyang pinanggalingan.
Well, the fact that they acknowledge these wastages, that is tantamount that they are admitting that these are wastages and it needs to be returned back to them. So that's why I was telling you a little earlier that this requires diplomatic processes, so that's why we have the DFA working on it. So we can just simply move them out and ship out from the pier once we have discussing it. But the President order is, that is a tall order, that it has to be returned back. So that's what we are doing right now.
And I suppose we will follow a similar process pagdating dito sa mga ibang shipments ng basura, katulad nitong this newly discovered shipment from Hong Kong. Ganun din ang susundin nating proseso.
Yep. Well, definitely.
Okay, maraming salamat sa inyong panahon. Customs Acting Deputy Collector for Assessment, Mel Pascual.